Well, hello there and welcome to my second forecast, and this one is all about the Taurus and its Eastern companions for the year of the horse, which starts on the 31st of January, as you can see on the caption prior to this video, and goes right round to the 18th of February 2015. Now, when I say forecast, that's exactly what I mean. It's just some solid advice and a basis. Things like lucky colours, don't go under ladders, don't go out after midnight, don't eat cheese, all the hocus pocus. That's not astrology, that's just mystical mayhem, that's just madness. So, but I can give you some solid advice for the Taurus with its Eastern counterpart, and as you can see on my previous videos, if you don't know your Eastern companion, the year you're born, what sign that is, you just scroll through my previous videos or just drop me a note on here or email me and I'll let you know what your Eastern companion is. So that's the combination of your Western birth sign and your year of birth with the Chinese, and it fuses together, and that's what makes your DNA. So here we go. This is what we've got in store for the Taurus, and we're going to start with the Taurus horse, because we're going to be entering the year of the horse, as I said, and this is going to be a wonderful year. This is a very, very strong year for the Taurus horse. They're going to be, that calming influence that the Taurus horse has got, very, very skilled, obviously slightly unpredictable, but in a really good way. In a skillful way. So we're going to be honing in on skills, etc. Things that they're masters at. They're going to just really take off on that. And if they've got a slight hobby that they're obviously going to be very good at, then I would try and make that run as a business. If you're going to think of a year of doing something that you love and you enjoy, pick this year. Pick from the 31st onwards, and particularly around your birthday. If we take sort of like the May area, the back end of April, and even the beginning of June is a really, really strong time, and also coming up to Christmas time is going to be a very strong time for you. So if you pick any time there, but the whole year is going to be very, very solid, very different from the one we've come out of for you, which was, a little bit of a struggle, as I know, but it's going to be nice and solid. Also going to be an excellent year for the Taurus dog. The Taurus dog, okay, the Taurian stops that anxiety and that worrying of the dog, and that pragmatic, pessimistic sort of nature is still prevalent there, but in a really nice, pragmatic way. They become really good leaders this year coming up. Really calming influence, looking into stuff with a very level head, and they'll find people will listen to them a bit more this year. Maybe last year things weren't going quite right, taken for granted a little, which can happen to the Taurian dog, because people think they look slightly negatively. They don't. They're just born pragmatists. That's the way they are, and they're very, very watchful. But this year, slightly less anxious for you, because people are going to start listening, and you're going to think, hey, I'm being heard, and that's a really good thing for you. So you can then calmly go about your business, and it will help others. It'll be a good calming influence for others. Also going to be a wonderful year for the Taurus tiger. They've come out of another, as I say, a tough spell, a tough year, in fact. So it's going to be a lot better for them. Travel's going to be quite high on their agenda, and I will go ahead and do it. Also, there's a knack of making a few bob in the horse year, because it does lend to enterprises, and the Taurus tiger is always looking out for a nice bit of money making opportunity, and they will come their way. They'll be getting extra overtime, stuff like that, and going off travelling and doing the stuff they enjoy doing, concerts, etc. like that. And I think it'd be a far more relaxed year and a much better year. A solid year, this is still going to be pretty decent, is for my next three companions of Taurus. And let's start with the goat. A nice solid year for the Taurian goat. A nice tranquil one. Not You know, nothing that's going to set the world alight, but you're going to enjoy this tranquility. You're going to enjoy a nice bit of sort of relaxation time, and that soothingness, and enjoying nature, which I know you love so much. You're going to be able to do that a lot more, and you're going to find a little bit, you know, less chaos going on around you, which can really sort of throw the goat out. They like to take things slowly, and they like to assess everything, and they like to look at things in a beautiful light. They don't like seeing the bad stuff, and this year they're not going to see so much bad stuff. So that's a very positive and a good thing for the Taurus goat. Also a very solid year for the Taurus pig. Now, as I've said, the pig has come through a dreadful year. The last year there's going to have been lots of upheavals, lots of things not quite going right, and quite a lot of bad luck. The snake year does bring that for the pig, unfortunately. It's just the way it goes. They may have been caught out by a bit of temptation, which really goes against the pig. They like to be quite conscientious and loyal. Well, the horse reinvents the loyalty back into you. It ignites that flame, and you know, you're a lot more at ease with yourself, and don't beat yourself up so much and go insular. So it's going to be a lot. You're going to feel a lot calmer, and you know, making use of your home and your surroundings, which you love so much. Maybe you got distracted last year, and that's not a surprise. When we're in, you know, the year of snake, it's a tough one for the pig. So much better for the Taurian pig. Okay, also a real good strong year for the dragon, the Taurus dragon. They will say they make every year a good year because of their initiative, of their daring, and also of their ability to sort of like create, because they're the mystical dragon, create enterprises out of nothing. Well, that's going to continue. It's going to be a very strong year for them. They're 99 times out of 100 their own boss anyway, and things are just going to pick up in the market for them, whatever they do, whether they're an upholsterer, an antiques refurbisher. You know, it's going to be a much better year in the marketplace, and a nice solid one for them. Now we're going to our next section of three Taurians, which are going to have to be very watchful. I'm not going to say it's a bad year, not particularly a bad year, but it's going to have to be an extra watchful year where things could go wrong, but as long as you keep an eye on it, you're just going to have to get your head down this year and plough through it, which the Taurians are fantastic at. They're very strong characters, they're very strong natured, so they don't mind doing that. And it's only going to be for spells, and just get through this. Remember, it's like the wheel. You know, the little rocky times, they're going to go round, and it's not going to last the whole year. There may be little patches of difficulties. And our first character in this three for the tricky year is the oxen. The Taurus ox loves to plod, loves to be quiet, loves to really take their time. They may find times where they're being a little bit G'd up in the year to come, a little bit pressure on them. They can deal with pressure, but it's the back chat and it's the other stuff that goes with it that might irritate them quite a bit this year. So they've got to be careful of that temper, because they very rarely lose their temper. But there's a possibility this year, and especially around summertime. Summertime, let's look at July and August, can be very vulnerable times for you here, especially with the heat, etc. like that. You can get a little bit boiled up and a little bit ratty. But just remember this, it's like the wheel, it's going to go through, you're going to get through it. It's not going to be a dreadful year. There's going to be little bits and bobs, a little bits of lights at the end of the tunnel. Also for the Taurus rooster, as we know, the rooster, their fortunes can fluctuate gravely. They can be flush, and then it can be skin, flush, skin, and they can have a tendency to be massively generous and then massively without, or a little bit stingy, because then they start to worry. It doesn't take the rooster a lot to worry, and then they worry, and then they won't spend a thing because they think, oh, that's coming. Well, it's going to be a little bit of a worrying year. The good thing with the Taurian puts it into perspective quite well, but this Taurus rooster is going to be a bit of a worry year. It's not going to be plain sailing by any means. I would just be watchful on that over-generous and that overspending streak that can come along. You know, your friends are still going to appreciate you. It's not all about spending a few quid on those crazy days out. It's about, you know, being there for them. You're an excellent friend, the rooster, and the Taurus rooster just needs to keep that in mind, especially around the springtime, especially around, if we look for May and June, it's going to be a vulnerable time for money, so let's keep an eye on that, and just watch it through. As I say, the tricky spells will go, and there'll be little bits and bobs that will pick it back up through the year. And the last on my list to be very, very watchful is going to have to be the monkey. Excuse me. It's the monkey. The monkey's going to have to be very watchful here. The Taurian monkey, a very strong character, as we know. The Taurus there, but the monkey makes him a little bit of a live wire, a little bit more of a jack-in-the-box, a little bit more lively than the majority of Tauruses, and they're going to have to make sure they don't waste their energies. They're very good workers, the monkey, and so is the Taurus. It plods and it's strong, but they're going to have to be careful that, you know, normally great with conserving energy, that they're not wasting bits and bobs of energy and having a tired year, having one of them years where they feel as though they're burning the candle. So they've got to be quite watchful there. Fatigue can set in quite around autumn, quite common for the Taurus monkey in years like this. So just be very watchful that you know, keep a bit back. Don't be rushing about in those scenarios where you think, oh, I'm chasing it. Just calm down, monkey, a little bit. Listen to the Tauri and let him pull you in a bit. Your inner self, pull you in, and then you'll be able to get through that. I think a couple of sticky patches, as I say, around autumn, and just be wary of this. And as I say, don't get exhausted. Okay, the next three characters are going to have a particularly very tough year. And let's start with the snake. The snake, the Taurian snake, has just had a wonderful year because they've had their snake year. But when we come out of that, they are the seducer. The Taurus snake especially is the seducer. They can't help it. They're such a beautiful creature, so lovely. But there's going to be little residue points where they may have had their heartstrings plucked quite a bit too much last year. Or, you know, they don't come out of things plain sailing this year. Whereas before they can get involved and then hop back out and get back involved. The seducer, they won't find it so easy. And they'll find that they can meet their match quite often in the year of the horse. So just be very, very careful. Also, it's going to be an ultra tough year for rabbits of the Taurus. Taurus rabbits, they love their home. Their home is their castle. They love their family. But there may be slight problems there. Sometimes quarrelling, etc. like that, and feuds can build in the horse year. It's quite unpredictable for them. They don't like unpredictability, rabbits. They're very conscientious. They love timekeeping. They like everything spot on. But things will be coming along that throw them out. Now it's how they deal with them. Listen to the Taurus to keep it level, because then the rabbit can go off a little bit helter-skelter. And they start scurrying and they start panicking. We don't want that happening in the horse year. It's very possible that it will, but bear it in mind. Let people around you know, let them in, so you can talk through it. You need someone close to you at a time like this to just talk you through it and take away the worries, you know, because the security of the house and also money is at big risk in the horse years for unpredictable and unexplained events. And it doesn't give me great pleasure, but it's going to be the worst year for a while for the Taurus rat, unless they've got to knuckle down. This is going to be very, very hard. The Taurus rat, it just exactly the same really with the rabbit, but a little bit more magnified. Whereas the Taurus rat isn't so involved with the house. They like their possessions, they like their lifestyle, and they like to be, you know, involved. They like to be at cutting edge. That can be quite effective in a year like the year of the horse. The Taurus rat can come along some big troubles, and also relationship wise things can feel a bit rocky, but you've got that ultra deep love in the rat, that they do want to be with the one forever, they do want to meet that one. So just hold out, maybe this year, to look for that one if you haven't got them, and if you have got them, let them know early so you can work through it together. And that's the key here. Let them look after the money, I would, this year, because things are going to come along, and let someone sail you through it, steer you through it, you know, and share the burden, because it's going to be bloody hard, really difficult. Okay, thank you for tuning in for this episode, and I wish all the Tauruses the best of luck for the year of the horse. Thank you.